Rice. Trump's calls to readmit Russia to G7 disgraceful and outrageous by Alicia Poe for the GatewayPundit.com. National Security Advisor to former President Obama, Susan Rice, repudiated President Trump Sunday after Trump called on Russia to be readmitted to the G7. Russia was expelled from the group, then known as G8, Group of Eight, in 2014 after the majority of member countries allied against its annexation of Crimea, the first violation of a European country's borders since World War II. Trump first expressed support for Russia's readmission into the G7 on the White House lawn Friday before departing for the G7 summit in Canada. Whether you like it or not, it may not be politically correct, but we have a world to run, he said. And in the G7, which used to be the G8, they threw Russia out. They should let Russia come back in because we should have Russia at the negotiating table. The president doubled down on Saturday upon his departure from the summit for Singapore, blasting the Obama administration for allowing Russia to annex Crimea. Obama was the one that let Crimea get away. He allowed Russia to take Crimea. I may have had a much different attitude, Trump said. I think it would be an asset to have Russia back in. I think it would be good for the world. I think it would be good for Russia. I think it would be good for the United States. I think it would be good for all of the countries of the current G7. I think the G8 would be better. Trump's insistence that Russia should be allowed back into the international partnership is disgraceful, Rice lamented Sunday on CBS's Face the Nation. Yeah, let's listen to this other witch here.
He's calling for Russia to be readmitted into the G8, which of course was pushed out of during the Obama administration because of their intervention in Ukraine,
their
seizing
invasion
Crimea.
of Ukraine
and
annexation of Crimea.
Yes. And so he said yesterday again that he would like to see Russia be part of the G8, and he basically recognized Russia's claim to Crimea as legitimate. Here's what he said.
Crimea was let go during the Obama administration, and Obama can say all he wants, but he allowed Russia to take Crimea. I may have had a much different attitude, but so you'd really have to ask that question to President Obama. Why did he do that? Why did he do that?
Would you like to respond?
It's a disgraceful statement. The fact of the matter is Russia had invaded Georgia. It then invaded Ukraine. We rallied the entire European Union and many other partners to impose tough sanctions on Russia for its annexation. We supported the Ukrainian government to build up its defensive military capacity. And along with our G7 partners, we agreed that Russia should no longer be part of this community of the G8.
He seems to be saying, but Russia still, it was a fait accompli.
Well, that's outrageous. I mean, the United States has long upheld international law. This was the most brazen violation of another country's sovereignty that's occurred in recent years. For the President of the United States to blame his predecessor rather than to understand that Russia is our adversary. Russia has taken on behavior that is absolutely reprehensible, including being responsible for shooting a civilian aircraft out of the skies and killing hundreds of people. For the President of the United States to suggest that all is forgotten, that doesn't matter, that we are fine with one country annexing another country's sovereign territory and we should just welcome them with open arms back into a community of democracies is outrageous.
It's interesting that this Russia policy has made some unusual bedfellows. In fact, Senator McCain tweeted yesterday rebuking President Trump, saying, "To our allies, bipartisan majorities of Americans remain pro-free trade, pro-globalization, supportive of alliances based on 70 years of shared values. Americans stand with you, even if our president doesn't." He's commenting on what he was upset with the president's rhetoric at the G7. Are you surprised to find yourself in agreement with Senator McCain?
No, there have been other occasions when I've agreed with Senator McCain and occasions when I've disagreed, but he is absolutely right. The United States, our leadership in the world, our national security has long depended on having close and unbreakable bonds with our closest allies. The G7 partners are our closest allies in the world. We share values, we share interests, we share security. And for the President of the United States to walk into that session and to essentially blow it up and disrespect our allies while embracing Russia and giving benefits to China, countries that are not our allies, and in the case of Russia, indeed our declared adversary, is very worrisome and very destructive. And it leaves the United States isolated in the world and our allies wondering if they can count on us and we on them.
Ambassador Rice, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in 1 minute with the president's top economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, who is just back from the G7 meeting in Canada. Despite all the smiles you see in that photo, was it as contentious as the president's Twitter feed suggests?
Well, I'll just tell you, Susan Rice is a traitor to this country. That's all I have to say. And for her to make those statements about President Trump, I think it's outrageous that she made those disgraceful, outrageous comments, just like McCain, the other traitor. I thought he was croaking. He's still around, running his mouth again. You know, I just can't even believe that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.